I get thousands of messages every single day asking me how to start freelance brand scaling, and honestly, it's not that hard. So I found a complete beginner, and in this video, I'm gonna give him every piece of knowledge he needs to know in order to make millions just like myself. This is Jeppi, and welcome to episode 2 of Brand Scaling Academy.
I was watching a bunch of Bread Scales videos. I was all over YouTube. I started following you like super early on. And as I kind of started going through with it, I was like, yo, I need to do this. So I started February, March timeframe. I do sales full time, right? So I have a 9 to 5 doing sales. I've done sales for like 3-4 years now. And so I wasn't worried about like client acquisition, anything like that. Me and my buddy, we started the actual like company, mainly just focused on the fitness industry as a whole, right? So like, supplement companies, fitness apparel companies, gym wear companies, as well as just gyms for lead gen. And so we started doing that, and we signed our first 3 clients. As soon as we signed them, we realized, all right, we've gotten to this point, like we need to actually figure out how to run the ads. We need the actual play for it. We need to figure out what we're doing. Hopped into the ERT, went through the actual courses, went through everything, learned a whole bunch more than I thought I would.
So now that I can unload the gun that I was pointing at his head to promote ERT, we realized after the first month he was making around $1,000 after getting through the entire course. But Giuseppe's issue isn't sales, it's actually delivering the service.
Kind of the part that we struggle with the most is like figuring out, okay, so the client acquisition part we're fine with. We've closed every single person. We've just had to deny about like 7 other people. Or because we're working the 9 to 5s, the hardest part is just we can't cold call actual companies. So we're only doing like DM outreach, things of that nature, and getting these people on a call from like DMs. We still haven't gotten any traction on emails, but it's all been through DMs, as well as like we've gone to a couple marketing events for fitness companies specifically. The issue that we're running into is we think we might be having too long of a process. We think we're at a point where we can start charging a retainer. Specifically, we know we can do it for supplement companies because we have proven results. And so that's where we're trying to head next.
Giuseppe then explained that every single client they reach out to, they do a full presentation with. Personally, if that was me, I ain't reading all that. So it's a lot of work on his front end just to potentially not even get the client. So by the end of the video, we're definitely gonna have to decide whether we keep that or get rid of it entirely.
Usually the only reason that that's good is because that hour-long call, it allows us to sell ourselves a lot more. And by the end of that, we've been able to close everybody. And then after that, we do a 30-minute setup call, right? So it's like a long process. If we could speed up the process, that's the biggest goal, because we want to grow quickly.
For all of these businesses you are having the time to reach out to, like, what is your offer? What's your pricing? Like
anything that's not lead gen, we do a 3-month trial at 10% of whatever we generate. They pay for all of the ad spend. I wanted to ask about this too, because this was something that we didn't know. One of the main things is they send us the money and then we pay for it through our business card, because they don't want to have to see consistent like transactions on their account from Facebook ads. That's something that they've been doing, and like one guy brought it up, so we always just give the option now. I don't know if it's the best way to do it, but that's what we've been doing.
I mean, nobody really I know does do it that way, but I guess if you found specifically it makes client acquisition and like your close rate better, why change it? I think it's a huge misconception that just because you're doing things differently means you're doing them wrong. If it's working in your agency, keep it going. A business isn't just one size fits all, and multiple things work.
And then the like lead generation, we guarantee 20 qualified leads for $1,000, but at the same time, like, they're like in talks with gyms, like, because we've sent them things that we've been able to do. We've sent them like actual results from the CrossFit gym itself. But the issue that we're running into is like these marketing companies, even though they're charging all this money, they send these guys like a whole thing through a CRM, and then the people at the company, like the people who work at the gym, call the leads. We get 20 leads. We call all 20 and we book appointments from there. The goal was to add some sort of automation that will consistently keep outreaching them, but we just haven't really gotten there yet. So we charge the $1,000 for 20 leads, $2,000 for 50, and then like $3,000 for something else. else.
Right here, I won't go into depths of exactly how to go about setting it up because I'm not an AI nerd, but there's someone in the ERT specifically who's upselling lead gen businesses just like that on an AI agent that's an appointment setter. So he basically charges them a retainer to place an AI agent into their business to manage like the whole setting process, like $2-3 a month. He's making like $60K a month. So that's definitely one thing you could look into to kind of automate that sales process more, which makes your service even easier to sell. The 3-month trial, as well as the guaranteed 20 qualified leads. How do like close rates look on that? How does like set rates look on that? Like overall, how does that offer itself seem to be performing?
Yeah, the 20 leads that 23 that we were able to get, with 3 people opted out, we were able to set 11 appointments in gym. It's up to them to close it once they get in the door.
I'm saying like for your outreach, for your agency, when you're reaching out to businesses, supplement brands, clothing brands, how does your offer of a 3-month trial seem to be performing when you're going about doing your outreach to those businesses?
Like we're giving too much because, for instance, the 2 people that we signed and like decided to go with, those 2 people were like, for 3 months, you're just going to run it and take 10% of the revenue. And you're like, yeah, everybody loves that offer. We knew that we kind of messed up because as soon as we said, yeah, like pay us $1,000, we'll guarantee 20 leads. He was like, oh, okay. And that's not including ad spend, right? And we were like, no, that's including ad spend and everything. Are you sure? And like he almost got like skeptical because he was like, I've just never seen something like that.
And while providing value to your clients is a good thing, I think Giuseppe's going a little overboard. Whoops. And even at the point he's at, it's not worth trading that amount of time for that little money, especially when it's not consistent and guaranteed. The biggest red flag I see with Jibs, because it's actually on them to close the deal so that you get your 10%. Victor in episode 1 had the same exact issue, getting tons of clients leads, and suddenly you put in a ton of work for basically $0.
Here's kind of 2 different options you could go with. You could offer a free trial where you don't charge them anything. You make $0, but it's in like a 2-week time frame. If you think specifically within 2 weeks of signing a client, if you feel like you could prove to them in those 2 weeks that your services are worth paying for.
I don't know if it would have happened with the 3 that we have. Now that we know how to set everything up in the ads manager correctly and have the pixel track the right data and have it go through, 100%. Because as soon as we got that situated, we were good.
Another option, similar to the 3-month trial, but charging a setup fee. So a payment wall, which is going to kind of help qualify clients more. Payment walls just kind of filters out the bad quality of clientele.
When you're first starting your agency, it might make no sense to start with a payment wall. In your head, you might be thinking, why would I want to get rid of all these clients who want to work with me?
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
But you have to plan ahead for the future and think about the next couple of months. If they can't pay $1,000 up front to continue actually working with your agency, when you have better clients out there, then you're the one that's losing. And say you have to drop those clients because they're overall not good clients and you're not getting them the best results, then you have people out there who are going to say bad things about your agency.
With the current clients you have, you don't feel any of those are going to churn?
No.
They want to keep working with you?
Yeah, at least for the next 3 months easily. Yeah, I mean, they've been super responsive over everything. We already had, we have one guy who gave us like a testimonial in a sense. Like he emailed us and said like this massive paragraph about how much we've already helped him. Like that felt good. That's the reason that we started doing this in the first place, was because it's like you're literally just helping people grow, watching like their dreams come true. And that was why we got like so hooked instantly with these companies that they're only making $3-4 grand and they're working their 9-to-5s trying to get out of it. And the supplement company guy, he said if we can do this like for literally 2 more months, he's done. Like he's all in on this.
Now this is the true power of brand scaling and actually being able to market a brand properly. Not only are you benefiting yourself, but you're putting money in your clients' pockets. A lot of people want to start brand scaling so they can buy an Aventador and crash it. But it's clear that Giuseppe actually wants to make an impact and put some good into the world. And that passion is going to get him way further than someone who just wants to start to make a little bit of extra money and then go ahead and quit when it doesn't happen in 2 months.
So your biggest bottleneck was that, you're still in your 9-to-5 and don't really have the time. Do you have any sort of capital? And it doesn't even have to be a lot, maybe 1 or 2K, even could be just the money you've made from the agency in this past month with all these payouts you're about to get, to front towards hiring a cold dialing team or outreach VAs. People to dial for you during the day or to do outreach for you during the day.
I mean, yeah, 1000%. So our 9-to-5s are like, they're good because they're able to fund a lot of what we're doing.
And a key part of having capital as an agency is reinvesting that back into your business. I talked about it with Victor in episode 1, but delegating out is the one thing you need to do in order to actually scale your agency. Although you might think you can do it all by yourself, it's the one bottleneck keeping you from actually being efficient.
If you're gonna go the route of hiring a cold dialing team, which I think is a good option, you can just continuously yourself scrape leads. You know what ListKit is, yeah. Just continuously scrape leads from ListKit and then feed those to the dialers and have them dial all day while you're at your 9-to-5. And then hopefully, by the time you get back home from work, they have a meeting or two booked in for you. But cold calling is gonna be going for the gym businesses as where outreach is going to be going for the supplement and apparel brands.
So now a bunch more time is freed up in Giuseppe's schedule. He'll be able to close way more clients and ultimately scale his agency way faster. What did I tell you, man? Delegating is OP.
Yeah, no, 100%. Especially when it comes to actually like hiring a cold dialing team while we're in the 9-to-5. I think that's a part where I've talked to like other people in the ERT about it, like where we've just kind of sat down because it's like, oh, you're in a 9-to-5? Like, yeah, I'm doing the same thing. We have chatted, like thrown off ideas to each other where it's like, well, like, how do you do it? And it's like, oh, I just shoot off a shit ton of DMs, and that's what we kind of been doing. But it ends up like we're only meeting with really these companies or these people that are kind of in the same position as us, and we can't really hit the gym market as hard as we want. Kind of as we go through it, right? The actual retainer cost, should we base it off of like industry standard? Because industry standard for our industry and like our niche when it comes to the supplement and apparel companies is 3 to 4 grand. So it's like that's the retainer cost plus the ad spend within it. And those companies did not like this is what's crazy about it is like everybody that we talk to within this niche, the marketing companies that are reaching out to them will charge them 3 to 4 grand, and then they have zero access to see how the ads are performing. They have zero access into Meta. They shut all the access away from the person. So like our thought process is they're probably doing that because once they reach like, I don't know, like a grand extra in sales generated directly from the ads, they can look at the client and be like, oh, see, it worked. We reached a grand with $100 with the supplement company. So it's like, then they're keeping 3,900 of that, right? So I don't know, the offer, like you said, right? It was, we're like, look, we show you everything. You can see it all as we're doing it. And that's the reason that like people are so enticed to do it. But we're also not charging the retainer. We're not charging anything like that. When we do, now that we have the results and we're gonna charge like that initial setup fee as well as the 2-week trial and also do like a retainer after we prove ourselves to that client, do you think it would make more sense to go like a $2,000 route, or do you think maybe the $500 or $1,000 retainer is just going to be perfect because it makes the offer more irresistible?
It's totally situational because it depends on what you think you can get them as far as results and what you've gotten them prior throughout that irresistible offer, throughout that trial or whatever it was. It depends on one, the results you think you can get them, as well as two, what you think they're willing to pay. So it's kind of like finding a fine balance in between both.
But something a lot of people run into is they're working a 9-to-5 or they're going to school and their agency starts to pick up. When is the point where you go all in on your agency?
Because like, I'll be honest with you, we're both at a point where I sit there personally every day and like I hate it, dude, because like all I want to be doing is this, right? So it's like, when is a good time to kind of like dive deep in? Do you think it should be one of those things where it's like we just take the fucking risk and go for it, or do you think it should be one of those things where we just wait it out until we're making a stable enough money to actually just live?
I mean, thankfully as a whole, brand scaling is like one of those things where you can manage it with little time, as you're already doing, For me specifically, I waited until dropping out of college until I was at like a point where, I had a little bit of income coming in already and had a little bit of an income saved up. I mean, I still took a risk regardless, a big risk, but I had a little bit of security. I think you wait until you're at a point where, proof of concept is there and income is there to kind of, cover your usual expenses, unless, you really fucking feel like that's the right decision. I don't love giving advice on a topic like this because I never want to tell someone something when it's such like a big decision. In the end of the day, it's about doing what you feel is right. And if you truly believe in yourself, obviously having this conversation with you're a well-off individual and smart, and you're gonna figure it out. We're gonna film a follow-up in a couple months, and you're gonna be crushing it.
Stop it!
But
come on. Wow, glazing me, bro.
I mean, it kind of comes down to what you feel comfortable doing, bro, really.
And that looks like it's going to be it for Brand Scaling Academy episode 2. I really appreciate all the love on episode 1, and I want to keep this series going for you guys. But I want you guys to tell me, what exactly do you want to see in terms of guests? We had Victor, who is already a bit experienced. Now we've had Jeppi, who's basically a complete beginner. So let me know what you guys want to see in the next video and what certain pain points and bottlenecks you guys want me to cover. Anyways, ERT application is down in the description. Make sure to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, and I will see y'all in the next video. Peace.